Yo, what's going on, guys? And Sean Hyken of the Rose Garden Report is putting out that Mr. Anfernee Simons, from how he spoke at the end of the season interview, where he said he just wants to win, and with the way Joe Cronin talked about the team, where he said they're focusing building around Shaden Sharp and Scoot Henderson, and did not mention Anfernee Simons. He's saying that it seems likely that he could be traded. Now, Utah and Detroit, maybe Charlotte and San Antonio and Brooklyn are like the five teams that have the cap space and to do it. So for me, when I look at this, I think, all right, the one thing that could end up happening, in my opinion, is I don't think Detroit's involved. I think Utah, San Antonio, in Brooklyn. I'm taking San Antonio off because they went out and got Chris Paul. But before Chris Paul, I think he was a guy that definitely could have interested them. So I think we look at Brooklyn because they're rebuilding and they maybe want a point guard for the future, and they have the contracts of expiring ones to entice a team like Portland. And then Utah, they want someone next to Keontae George, and maybe bringing in an Anfernee Simons could help them with Lauri Markkanen and staying there longer. And I think that that's something that probably interests them. Now, let's get right into it and let's talk about it. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. If you're a fan of, I would say the thing that you would have to do is make sure that Anfernee Simons, what is his value? Because this past season, I do want to say that he did a better job of being a facilitator over the last few years, especially with Dame, when he started to come out of the lineup. Like, he's increased his assist totals every season. He's become more efficient as a shooter. I mean, he has career averages of 14 points, 43% from the field, 38 from three, 2.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists. But over the last 2 years, he's averaged 22 points while shooting 44% from the field, 38% from three rebounds, 5 assists a night, just under a steal. So he's a solid player. And if we wanted, let's go ahead and turn on this trade machine. We were doing another trade. So if we're going to do the Nets, I think the Nets are a nice one to think about. So Anfernee Simons makes 25.8. And I think the easiest way, you would look at a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic, and you say, how does Bojan Bogdanovic with Deron Sharp sound? And if anything, you tell them those two, you save the money, and instead you just, I'd have to think that you're either throwing them a bunch of second round picks, or you're throwing them. Tell me what you guys think. I think there has to be some draft pick compensation in here, but is it a bunch of second round picks, or is it one first round pick? What would you guys do? And it says Bojan Bogdanovic cannot be aggregated with other players. So if we did do this trade, basically we'd have to take off Deron Sharp. So if they did Bojan Bogdanovic, I do think this has to be a first round pick. And for example, let's do lottery protected pick this year. Lottery protected, trade to the Blazers. Could this deal? Yeah, this would work. Nets could straight up trade Bojan Bogdanovic and let's say a first round pick for Anfernee Simons. Then the Blazers could just cut Bojan or trade him. And the other ways to do this deal, if let's say we'll take off a pick and maybe some young guys, but the same thing with the Nets want to keep the young guys. Would Cam Johnson, just a straight up Cam Johnson trade, entice them? I think that's something that's possible. Or I think the idea of Cam Thomas, we had Deron Sharp in there. Mamadi Diakite was recently traded, so we'll have that whole crowd. But I don't think they want to trade Jalen Wilson. So what if, Dennis Schroeder, we're just giving him salary filler and contracts that they could easily move off of, and it'll give them cap space because they're all like technically 1-year deals. And technically, I didn't put Shake Milton in this deal. Oh, I don't know how Shake Milton ended up in this deal. We must have pressed the wrong guy. Cam Thomas and Deron Sharp. So there we go. My apology. And this is what the deal could look like. Another one. The Blazers save $5 million and they get 3 guys on 1-year deals. Cam Thomas and Deron Sharps have qualifying offers, so you could actually keep them. And the other team we said was the Utah Jazz, which I think could give them actually a better package. So the package for them either could involve Jordan Clarkson or Colin Sexton, which right there I think could entice them. So you would just do, for me, when I look at this, I think the idea of Jordan Clarkson with, we're hearing Walker Kessler could be traded. So let's say Walker Kessler in this scenario is traded and they throw in Brees. No picks, Jordan Clarkson, Walker Kessler, and Brees for Anfernee Simons. That would be able to work. Is that too much on Utah's part? I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys expect and why? I'm curious. I think the situation is one that with every day that passes and how it's just all coming together, I have no problem. I do think it's interesting how it's played out, but I mean, to each their own. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comment section.